I found out last Tuesday that my mother has been paying my sister's rent for 6 years. 6 years. And the only reason I found out is because my sister accidentally forwarded me a Venmo request meant for my mom that said March rent, love you mama with a little heart emoji. 6 years of my mother looking me dead in the face and telling me she couldn't help me with anything because money was tight. I'm shaking as I type this. Let me back up. I'm 29F. My sister Brooke is 33F. We grew up in Columbus, Ohio. Our dad passed when I was 11 and Brooke was 15. Mom raised us alone working as an office manager at a dentist's office. We weren't poor but we weren't comfortable either. There was a clear difference between us growing up though, and everyone in the family knew it. Brooke was the golden child. She was prettier, more social, made cheerleading, dated the popular guys. I was the quiet one who read books and got good grades that nobody seemed to care about. When I was 17 I got accepted to Ohio State with a partial scholarship. I remember showing my mom the acceptance letter and she said that's nice, honey, and went back to watching Brooke's cheerleading competition video on her phone. I worked 2 jobs through college. I waited tables at an Applebee's and tutored freshmen in calculus. I graduated with a 3.8 GPA and $22,000 in student loans. Nobody came to my graduation because Brooke had a really bad migraine and mom said she couldn't leave her alone. Brooke, meanwhile, dropped out of community college after 1 semester. She said school wasn't for her. Mom said that was okay because Brooke was more of a people person. Brooke bounced between jobs for years. Receptionist, retail, bartending, dog walking. Nothing stuck for more than a few months. She always had a reason. The manager was toxic. The hours were bad. She wasn't being appreciated. I moved to Chicago when I was 23 for a junior analyst position at a financial consulting firm. Starting salary was $48,000. Not amazing for Chicago but I made it work. I lived in a studio apartment in Rogers Park that was basically a closet with a hot plate. I ate rice and beans 3 nights a week. I never asked my mom for money because she had drilled into me my whole life that she couldn't afford to help and that I needed to be independent. There was one time, about 4 years ago, when I was really struggling. I had just been laid off during a round of cuts and my savings were almost gone. I called mom crying and asked if she could lend me $1,500 to cover rent while I job searched. She sighed really loud and said, Jess, I wish I could but you know I'm barely making it myself. You're a smart girl, you'll figure it out. I sold my car. I sold my nice interview blazer. I ate ramen for 3 weeks straight and applied to 200 jobs. I figured it out. I got hired at a better firm making $65,000. Then $78,000. Then last year I got promoted to senior analyst at $94,000. Every single step I did alone. Every single one. Meanwhile Brooke has been living in a nice 2-bedroom apartment in German Village, which is one of the nicest neighborhoods in Columbus. I always wondered how she afforded it on a part-time dog-walking income. I even asked her once and she said her roommate covered most of the rent. She doesn't have a roommate. She never had a roommate. So last Tuesday, I'm at my desk eating lunch and my phone buzzes. It's a Venmo request from Brooke for $1,400. The note says March rent, love you mama with the heart. I stare at it for a full minute thinking there has to be a mistake. Then I realize she sent it to me instead of mom because our names are next to each other in her contacts. Jessica. Mom. She just tapped the wrong one. I screenshot it immediately. Then I went into full detective mode. I'm an analyst. This is literally what I do. I looked at Brooke's Venmo history, the parts that are public anyway. There were monthly payments from our mom going back as far as Venmo showed. $1,400 every single month. Some months there were extra payments with notes like car insurance or electric bill or just XO. I did the math. $1,400 a month for 6 years is $100,800. Over $100,000 that my mother gave to Brooke while telling me she couldn't spare a dime. Over $100,000 while I was selling my car and eating ramen and crying myself to sleep because I thought I had nobody. I called my mom that night. I didn't yell. I was eerily calm actually. I said, Mom, Brooke accidentally sent me her Venmo request for March rent. Dead silence. I could hear her breathing get faster. Then she said, it's not what you think. I said, it's exactly what I think. You've been paying her rent for 6 years. You've been paying her bills. While telling me you had nothing. More silence. Then she said something that I will never forget as long as I live. She said, Brooke needs me, Jessica. She's not like you. You've always been able to take care of yourself. I said I was able to take care of myself because I had no other choice. Because you made sure of that. She started crying and said, you don't understand what it's like watching one of your children struggle. I said, you had 2 children who were struggling, Mom. You just only cared about one of them. She said that's not fair. I said none of this has been fair. I hung up. I didn't call Brooke. I didn't need to. Mom must have called her right away because within an hour Brooke was blowing up my phone. She sent me 9 texts in a row. The gist was that I was being dramatic, that Mom helped her because she needed it, that I was jealous and bitter, and that I should be grateful I'm the successful one instead of making everyone feel bad about it. She actually wrote, and I quote, "Not everyone had everything handed to them like you did, Jess." Handed to me. She actually said that. The person who has been handed $100,000 in free rent said that to the person who sold her car to make rent. My Aunt Linda, Mom's sister, called me the next day. Apparently Mom called her crying saying I was being cruel. Aunt Linda already knew about the money. She said she'd told Mom years ago it was a bad idea but Mom wouldn't listen. Aunt Linda said your mother loves you both the same, she just worries about Brooke more. I told Aunt Linda that love and worry without action isn't love. It's just a word. Here's what really gets me. It's not even about the money. I mean, it is, but it's not just the money. It's the lie. It's sitting across from my mother at Thanksgiving dinner while she complains about how expensive her property taxes are. It's listening to her say she can't afford to visit me in Chicago because flights are too pricey. It's her missing my college graduation, my promotion dinner, my 30th birthday, always with some excuse about money or Brooke needing her. It's building my entire identity around being the one who doesn't need anyone because my own mother decided I wasn't worth helping. I told Mom I need space. I said I'm not cutting her off permanently but I need time to process this. She said please don't punish me for being a mother. I said I'm not punishing you. I'm protecting myself from someone who has shown me exactly where I stand for the last 18 years. Brooke posted something on Instagram 2 days later. Just a quote graphic that said some people will rewrite history to make themselves the victim. I know it was about me. 3 of her friends liked it. My cousin commented a fire emoji. It's been a week now. I've gotten texts from 2 of Mom's friends saying I'm being too hard on her. My coworker Sarah said I have every right to be upset but that I should try to see it from Mom's perspective. My boyfriend Jake said what my mom did was messed up and he's fully on my side, which I appreciate more than he knows. I keep going back and forth. Part of me thinks maybe Mom really was just trying to help her struggling kid and I'm the one making it about me. But then I remember being 25 years old with $11 in my checking account calling my mother for help and being told no. I remember the pit in my stomach. I remember thinking I must not deserve help. I carried that feeling for years. I still carry it honestly. I'm not asking for $100,000. I don't want her money. I want an honest acknowledgement that what she did was wrong. That choosing to help one child while lying to the other about having nothing isn't parenting, it's favoritism. And that the narrative she built where Brooke is fragile and I'm invincible was never true. I was just the one who wasn't given a choice. Mom sent me a text yesterday that said I did the best I could. I haven't responded yet. I don't know what to say to that because I don't think it's true. I think she did the best she could for Brooke. I think she did the minimum she could get away with for me. My therapist, who I started seeing in January for unrelated reasons that are now feeling very related, says my feelings are completely valid and that I don't owe anyone a timeline for forgiveness. That helped. So here I am. 29 years old. Senior analyst. Built everything from scratch. And somehow I still feel like that 17-year-old girl showing her mom a college acceptance letter and watching her not even look up from her phone. So, am I wrong here?